two recent teasers have come up, and I've really wanted to get to Last of Us for a while, so it's good that we can compare this to Emancipation. What do I think? Well, Last of Us at least looks astonishing, has a great cast, has a very solid creative team behind it. Craig has built up a lot of credibility. I've really wanted to see these Game of Thrones actors again, and they're working on the same project, so I'm sold already. So the lead actors are pretty incredible. They're insanely talented, and they've done good work in the past. Them teaming up together, I'm already on board, but they've done a lot of good stuff in just this teaser to reassure people it's going to have very high quality. They really put a lot of effort in the makeup, the effects. I don't know too much about the original video game or video games, but this I know is kind of like this post-apocalyptic version of America, and things have declined markedly. So it's just people trying to survive, and the basic gist is that the main female character is basically, I guess, being smuggled by the Pablo Pascal character, Joel, and presumably they're going to meet other characters and interact and just try to survive this basically apocalyptic time period. I did do a little bit of research, but I think it's better with this. I'm only going to do a little bit more background research because I want to be surprised. And they are saying, yes, they are going to stay mainly faithful to what happened in TLOU, to reward the video game fans. And there are a lot of Easter eggs. I don't want to give those away, but yes, people from TLOU, some of the talent or personnel, they will be in this. I kind of recognize who they are, but again, I'm not a hardcore fan. But if you do slow it down, you will catch some of the Easter eggs. So that's good. But I want to be honest, Neil has also promised that things he wanted to do for the video game and he couldn't do, he will do here. So that could be an alarm bell. I don't know Neil that well. I know he made very controversial decisions with TLOU 2, which alienated a lot of people, and a lot of right-wing people got really angry at him for various reasons. Some legit, some not legit. They may pull the subversion of expectation card. I myself am open-minded to that if it's done well, but sometimes it can be done not well. So I like The Last Jedi. I didn't mind it, but I think some people have drawn the bad lesson from The Last Jedi that they should also just copy Rian Johnson's style. I don't think that's a good idea. Sometimes you want to do it, sometimes you don't. So I just will forewarn people this will be largely faithful. It does look amazing, production style, the quality is there, but it may go in directions you may not like. And when we get the full package, so be forewarned. If you are a purist about the video games, this may not work for you. And now we move on to Emancipation, which is decidedly much less exciting project, although I do think it's actually very critical because I do a lot of research on this question itself, on the Civil War and fascism and the KKK. And despite what people think, statistically, people have measured this. Now, I've only seen a handful of Civil War films, but even from that sample, I can verify that yes, it sounds amazing, but the pro-Confederate view is still dominant. I know that might shock people, but yes, the pro-slavery point of view is still very dominant in Civil War films. It's very good that we're getting the other side of the table. This is being directed by a black man, and that is rare for a black man to do a Civil War fiction, period. Whatever you think about the director's politics, he is an amazing director. His films always look amazing. This is no exception. It looks great. But to be honest, it depends on the script. He has done great work. We all know that with Training Day, but then he sometimes makes bad decisions and picks a not good project. I like the Magnificent Seven myself, but I did think Seven was lacking in a few places. It's still a great film. I'd recommend that, but I do think they made some questionable choices here and there. Overall, it's a great film. So he has done this before, trying to do sort of a historical fiction, but this is allegedly based on a true story. And I don't think, apart from the Chris Rock thing, it's a good idea to have Will Smith in the lead role because, again, when he does these things, being the hero man and the center of attention, and he does a quote a historical fiction, I found overall it's very boring. His acting style is very kind of stylized. He goes overboard. He does these weird things with accents, which I find really annoying. Now, sometimes that's appropriate. Like he'll play an African. Okay, that's fine. He has to have an accent. But do we know for sure this character had this accent? Did they do enough research to know for sure that he just sounds weird? And it is a little inconsistent because it seems in black and white, but we do see some color images. So is this going to be a stylistic thing? We're going to go back and forth between black and white and color. I just see a lot of alarm bells. We can't ignore the Chris Rock thing. So just based on that alone, I'm not going to look at it, which is a shame because I think Apple and the people behind this have good intentions. I'm sure when it comes out, it will be actually be a good film. The teaser does reassure me it will at least be a good film. But is it good enough to ignore what he did? No. Is this an important topic? Yes. We already have this technically. So if you want to see an interesting film that does involve, quote, black soldiers, we have Glory. Technically, that is a white production, but don't be fooled. The black characters are given a lot of time. They speak for themselves. They're very diverse. We're not just given a stereotypical negative point of view. We're given a very good variety of black characters, a good variety of white characters. And it's a very interesting story. It is also very politically right wing. It's a very conservative film, but and it has a really great Denzel Washington performance, really great Matthew Broderick performance, very great Morgan Freeman performance. It's very just great all around. So I'd recommend that. Last of Us, I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. Again, it's a teaser, but I'm going to be very interested when they show us more. Emancipation, I can only give aesthetically 7 out of 10, but unfortunately, due to what Will Smith did, I'm not going to look at it for a very long time, which is a shame because the director and creative team look like they really at least put a solid effort in, but it is what it is. Will Smith has put us all in a very weird space with his actions, but we are where we are. So, looking forward very much to TLOU. I think if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with what they're going to do. But again, they may deviate a little too much from the source material. And with Emancipation, unfortunately, it looks good, but it's not good enough to quote unquote put aside certain issues.